Is this the scariest TV show of all time?
I'm not making excuses.
Bullshit.
I saw.
Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. I am ashamed to admit that up until this point, I had never seen a Mike Flanagan TV show in my whole life. Never. So The Haunting of Hill House is the very first Mike Flanagan TV show that I've watched. Now, I've seen all of Mike Flanagan's movies, but I'd never seen his TV shows. If you ask me why it took me so long, I genuinely couldn't give you an answer. I don't know, but because I've watched The Haunting of Hill House, I will go ahead and watch the rest of them at some point. But the reason I watched The Haunting of Hill House, for a number of reasons, is it was his first one, and apparently it is his best one. The first thing I noticed about the TV show was how similar it was to Stephen King's It, whether that be the miniseries from 1990 or the movies that came out in 2017 and 2019. A group of people, in this case, a family of kids who were haunted by ghosts and spirits when they were younger, and then we get the backstories for when they were young, and then we get the modern day when they're adults, and then there is even an episode where they all come together and talk about it, very similar to Stephen King's It, and that makes sense how Mike Flanagan's career has went since then, because he's done many Stephen King adaptations and he continues to do so. Straight off the bat, I can tell you that the writing for this story was stellar. Some of the best writing that I've ever seen for a TV show, never mind horror, but any TV show. Each character's backstory was immersive. You got right into their backstory from when they were kids, the reason that they are the way they are, right up until modern day. And every character in the movie gets their own independent episode. So by the time we get through with all the characters and the lead up to what's going to happen, we're already invested. The acting was absolutely amazing from everyone. I think my standout was Oliver Jackson Choen, who plays Luke in the show. He was outstanding. The set pieces were stunning. The house was stunning as well. A lot of the time we saw the house from a distance, but when you're inside that house, you feel how grand the house is. Even when they go back to the house when it's ruins, we still feel that sense of grandeur. And it's almost like the house itself is a character in the show. I didn't know if you noticed this, guys. Again, I'm watching this years later, but I love how we see hidden ghosts throughout the show. I didn't notice them to begin with, but when I saw the first ghost in the background, I then started to notice them throughout the rest of the episodes. The good thing about that is the characters don't react, but the audience do. Some of the jump scares were actually pretty intense. Now, I'm an adult and I don't get scared when I watch shows or movies anymore, and I hardly ever get a jump scare either, because I notice when the jump scare's about to happen. But there was one jump scare in this show that made me jump out my skin. I actually audibly screamed to the point where my wife and kids got a bigger fright while watching it because of the noise that came from me. And when it happened, I had to pause it and say to them, I don't know where that came from. The story itself was haunting, and I don't just mean because it's a ghost story. Haunting in a sense that each individual character went through something so horrific that it messed up their minds, and they were thinking to themselves, is it my mind that's broken, or is this place actually haunted? Whether it be having unwanted gifts like Theo, having an affair like Shirley, and obviously dealing with the guilt with having that affair all these years. Not wanting kids due to what he thought was a mental illness in the family, that would be Stephen. Being a recovering addict, obviously that would be Luke. To seeing a dead woman in your house, in your dreams that you can't wake up from, and again, that would be Nell. And all of this stems from the experiences that each of these kids had in that house as children. Luke and Nell were twins, and I feel like those two had the worst of it when they were children, and they even had the worst of it as adults as well. And I don't know if that was because of their connection as twins or because they were the youngest, so they were more susceptible to the things that were going on in the house. When I think about it though, Olivia, the mum, obviously she probably had it the worst, because at the time of all the things that were happening, she obviously lost her life. This show shows the experiences and the loss and grief that people have from losing loved ones. And if that isn't deep enough, it also shows what a ghost or an entity goes through after losing their own life and not being able to connect with the loved ones who are living in the real world. Now, that is mind-blowing in itself, and it's got so many layers to it that it's unbelievable. Now, you see the dad, he's obviously experienced the loss of his wife, and the kids have experienced the loss of their mother, and they even blame the dad for it throughout the entire show. And their family is a mess. It shows what a family are going through, because the main beating heart of their family was their mother. And losing their mother in such a manner, that's why they're all messed up. But then you look at the mother, because this is one of the main parts of the story. The mother is an entity, a ghost, whatever you want to call her. And she's trying to bring them all together to come and live with them. Now, it seems like an evil thing to do. And that's why the dad's there, because he's trying to make her see that these kids need to live the life before they reconnect with you. But because the mother is so lonely, she can't, when I say live, she can't be without her children. And that's a selfish thing, but she's not thinking about it that way. She just loves them so much that she wants to be with them. It's haunting. I could go on and on about that part of the story. It's just beautiful and a truly amazing story. If we fast forward to the finale, if I'm being honest, I didn't get wowed by the finale. I was expecting some sort of massive twist, albeit we got a small twist with little Annabelle not being a ghost. She was a human being. But I saw that coming at the end of the day. So when we saw that she was actually a real person that got killed, I wasn't surprised by that. But what I liked about the finale was the fact that it didn't have a twist ending, but it was more somber than anything. It wasn't this epic, action-packed, or even scary finale. It was somber in the way that it closed off all the chapters, it done what it had to do, and end in a peaceful way. That's the best way I can describe the finale. I think that if you want to look at a twist for the show, it came in the mid part of the show when we find out that the lady with the broken neck that Nell was seeing through her childhood right up until adulthood, that was basically showing her how she was going to die. So I thought that was a cool twist. At the end of the day, guys, if you haven't seen this show like I hadn't seen, and again, no idea why it took me over 7 years or almost 7 years to see the show, but if you want to see something that's more than just a scary show, more than just a basic haunted house ghost story, then I highly recommend The Haunting of Hill House, because it does have the jumps, it has the scares, it has the story, it has everything that you really want in a horror TV show. So if you've seen this show, guys, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think it has got that bigger meaning to it, other than just a basic ghost story? As always, leave your comments and opinions down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!